I'm going to walk you through exactly how I make between $20,000 to $50,000 per month profit with a tiny team, one offer, in under 30 hours a week. And if you're new to my world and you're a bit skeptical or cynical, or you think that this can't possibly work for you, I totally get it. And my job today is not to try to convince you of a freaking thing, merely just pull back the curtain and show you what's working well for myself and for my clients. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. And if you want a copy of the slides I'm about to share that contain like the content strategy we use, the funnel that we use, the sales process, and all of that stuff, if you want a copy of this, the link should be around this video somewhere in the description, or you can shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram and just say the word workbook and I'll make sure I hook you up with it. So now without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on in. Here's my fancy cover photo slide and let's go. So who this is not for and who this is for. So if you fall in the not for category, this is probably not the best use of your time today. If you're a complete beginner, meaning you don't even have an online program at all, you don't even know who your niche is, like you haven't even got started, it's just merely a thought in your mind, you're welcome to hang out with us today, but this is likely not going to be for you because we're going to be talking a bit more intermediate strategies. And if you're what I call a flufferencer, meaning you're an underpaid, overworked content creator that cares more about being the most popular person on social media, and you want to just make money off your audience, but you don't really care at all about actually helping them, then this will definitely not be for you. You are not our people, and you're not going to find a lot of value in what I share today. So with that said, who this is for impact-driven coaches that want to actually make money in their business. Like, you want to help people, but you want to actually have a good profit margin, meaning you want to be able to have a business that provides you the financial freedom to live the life that you want to live, to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. And you want to deeply impact people. Like, you actually want to create transformation in people's lives. It's not just about the money. The money is awesome, but it's also about actually helping people have deep, lasting transformation. And if you want a lifestyle model, meaning you want to build a business around your life and not your life around your business, because believe me, I have fallen victim into the trap of building my life around my business, and it becomes stressful, it becomes unsustainable, and it leads to burnout. So I'm going to show you some ways that I have now made that transition. And if you want to actually have fun, right? Now, business isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are definitely hard times and things that you have to do that you might not consider fun, but all around, like, you should feel excited to show up to your business. You should feel like a sense of joy every day that you get to show up and serve the people that you've chosen to serve. And so I'm going to show you some ways that we've made business fun for myself, because at one point it definitely wasn't fun for me. And I want to show you and walk you through some of the mistakes that I made and some of the models and strategies that we now use. And let me pop out of here for a second. If you are new to my world, and allow me to introduce myself, and I'm going to give you some context that into how we came up with the model, the strategies, and some of the methods that I'm going to be teaching to you here over the next few minutes. The first part of my life, from 2000 and like my adult life really, from 2005 to 2012, I was a firefighter, and it was like a dream job for me. And this is where I realized that, like, throughout my career there, I realized like I was constantly going and helping people that were sick. It was like the worst of the worst kinds of people in society, the people that you end up going out towards, right? Between like the people that are catching their houses on fire to the people that are calling up like the medics. 9 times out of 10, they were like just mentally ill, physically ill. And it started to get to me, and I really wanted to start helping people like before they got to that place. I wanted to be more preventative to them. And I kept thinking and wanting to do something, but I never really did. And one fateful day, you can call this God, the universe, divineness, or just straight up a mere accident. But I was electrocuted in a house fire and hospitalized for 3 days and 3 nights. Now, that is a video for a whole nother day, but it was a life-changing moment for me, because at that time I was actually 53 pounds overweight. I wasn't my healthiest self, and it, for pun intended, it shocked me into getting myself back into shape. and getting my crewmates into shape. And that like sparked this passion in me. And so I ended up retiring from the fire department in 2012, and I became a personal trainer in a big box gym, in LA Fitness, for those of you that know what LA Fitness is. I'm pretty sure probably most people do. And I quickly realized that while I love doing that kind of personal training work, in a big box gym, they paid at that time at least like $6 a client, right? So I was making like $12 an hour, and I was like, there's no way that I can actually like build a true career working in a big box gym. So I started taking on my own clients. I started running boot camps, and that led me to actually opening up my own fitness center. And it was South Florida's only outdoor fitness center. And we, over the course of about 7.5 years, took that gym from like literally nothing to over 300 members, and actually served over thousands of people during our time there. And we had so much interest during that time where we actually had an investor come out. It was a member of our gym. He wanted to invest in our gym and like, franchise our concept. And so I took some money out of the gym. He put in about, 40, 50K. So we had around $80,000 total, and we actually franchised our concept. And this is where things, like, we were at this like really big high. And at that time, so I have 2 kids, Ava and Jackson. Ava is now 6. She's my daughter, and Jackson is 4. At the time, Ava was about to be born. So you can imagine, right? Maybe you can relate to this in some way where you're at this like high point of your life. Like, I was about to have my first child. We just franchised our gym. It was such a high moment. And within a couple months of franchising, we realized that it was a mistake. And we were literally starting to bleed money. We were getting crushed in the franchise market. It turned into an absolute failure. And I ended up going $45K in debt, just having to pay like team and marketing costs and all of these things. And we were just losing money. And so here I am, my daughter just being born, and $45K in debt. I felt like a terrible human. I felt like a terrible father. And I was just like, I was really down. It was definitely a low moment in that season of my life. And I remember sitting in my truck in front of my fitness center one day, and I was just crying. I was bawling. I was just like, again, feeling like complete shit. And I was just like, something's got to change. And it was in that moment I just decided that I was going to start going out there and speaking and doing and starting to grow an online presence so I can start an online program. And so I started going and speaking. I started doing live video. I started doing, posting a lot of content on Facebook. This is like 2017 now. And I then went out for what's called a TV show called American Ninja Warrior that's run by NBC. And anybody can do this, right? You have to submit a 3-minute video. And in that video, like, you have to demonstrate your story, your skill sets, and your energy, right? Because it's a reality TV show. And long story short, I ended up getting on the show. And it was like such a pivotal moment for me, because I was able to learn a lot about like TV and like talking to the producers and, seeing what hooks people in, what captivates people. And so it was a very unique experience that I got the opportunity to take part in. And that gave me like ideas to start putting into my content. And, lo and behold, we launched our online business in 2019. And the first month in that business, we did $11,000 in sales, a little over 11K in sales. And I know that's more than like what most people do traditionally. So we were very blessed, and I ended up, selling the gym. We got it back profitable, selling the gym. In 2019, I went all in on the online business, and we ended up growing that to multiple 6 figures in under 12 months. But the problem was, and this kind of leads to today, to what I'm going to be teaching you. The problem was, I built the business, and we were doing really good. We were averaging around 30K months at the time. I had a whole team. I had an assistant coach. I had, appointment setters. I had multiple virtual assistants. I had somebody helping with sales. I had editors. We had a team of about 8 people. And I was burned out. I wasn't fulfilled. I was just like, I was stressed out all the time, constant anxiety. And I knew something had to change at that time. And perhaps maybe you've been there before. And if you haven't been there, hopefully today will help you avoid that. But I thought it was like the thing I was doing. I thought it was just burned out on fitness. And I think I was a little bit. So during that time, I had a bunch of people, fitness and health coaches, asking me like tips and advice on content and live video and everything that I was doing. So I ended up like taking on a couple clients, and I helped them one-to-one with like getting their content strategy set up and helping them with their video performance and all that. And it ended up turning into a big hit. People were getting killer results. So I ended up going all in and, pivoting my business to that, sold my fitness list and went all in. And, here we are today. We've now helped over 150 coaches with this model and the strategy and some of the methods that I'm about to share with you, and helping them create more lifestyle businesses that are producing, between 20 to 50K per month profit, and helping a lot of people. And so I'm going to walk you through what I've learned throughout this journey, so you can hopefully avoid some of the burnout, some of the stress, and building a business that's just out of alignment for you, and that's not actually making you, good money, because that's where most people are. And so that's why I'm here. I want to share this stuff that I've learned with you. So again, I can help you avoid what's not working or hasn't worked for me, and give you what has worked. And here's a picture of my American Ninja Warrior, of my family, me speaking at an event we held for the In-Demand Coach. So anyways, let's go ahead and go into this. One of the big mistakes, and I'm going to actually skip the slide here. One of the big mistakes that people are making is like the older way of doing things. So let's start with the marketing piece, right? The older way of doing things is like teaching at your audience 70 to 80% of the time. This is what most people do, right? They're posting workout tips, nutrition tips, like random spray and pray advice. And it's not like it's good information. The problem is content is so commoditized right now. There's no shortage of information. And so if we're just sharing stuff with our audience, like we are seen as like the friend or the expert, but people aren't actually consistently buying from us. And I'm going to show you like some strategies that we're using to get people to buy like on a regular basis, right? And then DMing, like this is where I was, I was in all of these, which is why I'm sharing, but stuck in like DMing 50 to 100 people a day, chasing leads, having the like hire, appointment setters and salespeople, which by the way, I have no appointment setter anymore, and we still book calls regularly because of the inbound leads that we get. And I'm going to show you how to do that, right? So having to chase leads is a no-go. Running like soul-sucking challenges and giveaways. I remember putting so much time into running challenges, giveaways, and it really didn't yield a lot of good clients. And we found much better ways to get more qualified leads and better clients with way less effort. And I'm going to show you that. And so having multiple offers and programs, this is like an old, like kind of like bro scaler way to do it. Having low tickets, medium tickets, high tickets, like this, that. And it's like, it becomes complicated really quick in multiple platforms, right? I see coaches that are under 50K per month and they're on multiple platforms and they wonder why they're under 50K per month. I'm like, because your focus is so spread, or like just constantly trying to find new leads. Like leads either buy or die. This is an old way of doing things. Like when you have an efficient lead follow-up process, like you can monetize. Like we've been able to grow, we've been able to now generate over $1 million in sales with a very small audience, right? So it's about being efficient with leads. And then being like trying to be the influencer. This is the older way. Like when Reels first became a thing, it was cool, right? But people are stuck trying to become popular and going after vanity metrics rather than actually being the impactful coach and the smart business owner. And then setting up complicated tech and funnels isn't necessary anymore. We like not in this day and age. You can like grow a very profitable business with very little tech, and not having like these complex funnels, right? And that's kind of the new way. And I'm going to walk you through the model in just a second. So the new way is having sales-driven content, one aligned offer, and I'll explain this more in a minute. One simple lifestyle model, like a simple lifestyle model that like allows you to actually be fulfilled, not stressed or burned out. Having a social tribe funnel, and I'm going to walk you through that. Being able to generate inbound leads. I'm going to show you the content strategy for that. Actually having we call a 3-step nurture process to help warm up your leads and get them to become buyers. Having an efficient lead follow-up process I was just alluding to. Actually having the focus on being an impactful coach, and having simple systems set up in your business to be able to scale with a tiny team with one offer and not having to work, 60 hours a week, right? So you're not burning out, right? And so this is how it looks. This is the model that we've come up with after all of the turmoil and in the mistakes that we went along the way. So I know there's a lot here, so let's go ahead and start in the middle of this. the goal here is to become in demand, right? This is the newer way of doing things. And there's a different mindset. There's a different focus when you're focused on becoming in demand versus just randomly trying to like get clients and keep clients and stuff like that, right? We want to focus on getting leads and having clients coming in consistently and predictably. And there are certain systems and skill sets that you need to make that happen. And so the three problems that often arise, there's more than three problems, okay? Like just straight up. But the three big problems that often come up, especially when you're under 30K per month at least, are inconsistent inbound leads. Like you're constantly chasing people or DMing people and you're hoping and praying people come in. But this is the big problem. And so what I found to solve the inconsistent inbound leads and to create more consistency with inbound leads is being able to have an aligned message and positioning, right, to your marketing, to your offer. And what this means is simply the words that you use are aligned and authentic to you, and they meet the market, your niche, your avatar, where they're at. Like they're meeting it. So when there's that blend of like the words that you're using are enticing enough to get people to constantly want what you're saying through your content and the rest of your marketing, and it's authentic to you, you have a match. And so this is one of the first things I help in-demand coach students come up with one-to-one with them, is I help them build this out, because this is like the calories to a meal plan, right? If somebody's eating, 600 calories, I don't care how healthy of food they're eating, it's not going to work, right? So it's just like if somebody's posting content, I don't care how good of information they're sharing. If they don't have this dialed in, they're going to get minimal results. And then the second thing here is having a social tribe funnel, which we'll walk through more in a minute. And then an inbound content system, which I'm going to show you more in a minute as well. When you have these three things in place, we found that having consistent inbound leads is very easy. And then the second problem is unpredictable revenue. And this is where you can get tons of leads, but if you don't actually convert them, which isn't just your sales process, which I'll explain, then you're going to be left on this like constant roller coaster of some months are good, some months are bad, and we don't want that. It's okay to have ebbs and flows, but we want to make sure that you actually have predictability around your revenue. And so part of that's the sales process, which I'll show you, having what's called cash campaigns or promotional cycles every 8 to 12 weeks. Where you're actually like doing a direct offer to your audience. And I'll kind of show you some examples in a moment. And then having a strategic content cadence so that you are bringing your audience through, and this is the secret here, the right psychological and emotional journey needed to get them to consistently become buyers, right? And I'll share more about this in just a second. And then over here, the third problem is not keeping attention. So it's easy to get attention on social media. Well, it's not easy. It's easy once you learn these skills and systems. But once you get attention, to be able to captivate and keep their attention, what we found is around $20,000 per month. I've been doing this for years, is having a vodcast. This allows you to get people that are top of funnel on like your Facebook or Instagram or whatever into long form content. And it gives you more depth with your audience, and it helps you keep their attention a bit more. And then being able to maximize your content, meaning like your hooks, your storytelling, your call to actions, like being able to really maximize that stuff will help you get more people clicking and watching, reading your posts, watching your videos, all that stuff. And then the last thing here is expanding your reach, starting to add email marketing in so you can get more traffic to your content and to the things that you want people to see, and being able to build a monthly reoccurring revenue model, which I'll show more about in a second, so that you're actually like generating more cash flow and keeping the clients that you're getting on a regular basis, right? So let's go ahead and break this down. Now, we're not going to be able to go into every single one of these things. This would take me forever. So I'm going to go over what I feel are the most important for you. Now, the lifestyle model, this is pretty much me. Like right now, I'm working between 4 to 6 hours a day, like on business stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, sometimes it's a little bit less. And it allows me to like be able to take off and, not have to work all, like till like, 5, 6, 7 at night, having lots of free space in my calendar to be able to like walk a lot, do things that I actually enjoy doing, and working on projects that I enjoy as well. And then we do this by like really batching client days, content days, and project days, so that we have like very specific time blocks and stuff like that to be able to do that, right? So the model is one of the new things that I came up with just through trial and error. And then we have one offer. And so you'll see there's two here. I've done them both in both my online fitness business and in my business now, where this is the one we currently run with. It's a high touch one-to-one. It's a bit of a hybrid, and I'll explain. But like having a high touch one-to-one when you're under 40 to 50K per month is so so vital. Like this is what people need, especially in health and fitness. Even in the business space, like people value this way more. And so traditionally, like 90 days to 6 months. Ours is 16 weeks right now. In my fitness program, it was 90 days. I would probably change it to 16 weeks if I went back. But this gives you more the ability to transform on a deeper level, right? At one point, I had coaches helping me with this, but at the beginning, it should just be you, high touch, and it could even be a hybrid between like one-to-one and group. And then you can have a group only, right? So you would want to choose one of these. Ideally, at the beginning, the fastest path to like really building a lot of profit in your business is doing this, because you're going to get better client results, better retention, and people are just going to be all around happier, right? Or you can have a group. Traditionally, when I run groups, they're minimum 12 months to 18 months. And then, of course, you can blend both worlds together, right? So that's the offer piece on how we're doing things. We personally do a 16-week one-to-one high-touch offer with group support as well. Now, the next piece here is going to be your messaging. I've done full trainings on this, so I'm not going to unpack this, but just understand that like the thing that like has helped us grow and consistently get profit, and even our clients that do this is the main thing, the first thing that we help people with. And so really understanding who your ideal client is, which we all know, but being able to go deeper than most. So most people stop at the pains, right? Or the problems that they have. We want to go deeper than that, right? We want to, yes, know the specific pains, actions, beliefs, and consequences so we can articulate that in our marketing. But at the same time, we want to go on this other side and figure out the results, the feelings, the ripple effect. Like what are the aspirations that people want? When you can start hitting onto that, it's a game changer, because most coaches don't go that deep. They just stay surface level. And so when you go deeper in your marketing between like the fears and the aspirations, it hits people on a whole nother level. And then in our marketing, we like to have a villain. Like for us, we have the content commodity trap, or we have like the old kind of like scale, like they call it now bro scaling way of doing things that leads to burnout. Like we have a villain. In our fitness, we had like restrictive dieting trap, or you want to have like villain, because any great story has a villain, And then, you want to have a new belief, right? The belief that made me so much money in fitness was it's not about eating healthy, it's about eating right. And a lot of my content went to proving that belief was true. And the more I got people to believe that belief to be true, the more people wanted to buy my program. So the belief is absolutely key. And then we have the unique solution, being able to come up with the vehicle, the unique method, and the hero message. Again, I've done full trainings on this, but understand this is one of the main parts that help us like actually generate a lot of revenue. And then we have our client acquisition process. So we use what's called a tribe funnel. This is a methodology that I came up with. This can be used on Facebook, is where I use it. We have clients using it on IG. We have a really good IG funnel for this. This could be used on LinkedIn. I have clients on TikTok. I'll explain here in a moment, like which ones you should choose, but like Facebook or Instagram are typically going to be your top two. Instagram is a bit of more of a pay to play model. Unless you already have a big audience, you got to typically pay to get that audience. Facebook, you could do it organically for free. It just takes a little bit more time. Then you want to pair that around like 15 to 20K per month. You want to pair that with longer form, like a vodcast. And you're not trying to grow this, but simply what we do is we take people from our Facebook or Instagram and we promote like longer form content on a platform like YouTube and Apple and Spotify, because it's more bingeable on those platforms. It's hard for people to binge stuff while they're like out walking or doing stuff on Facebook or Instagram, but people can binge your content a lot more on these platforms. So it helps you create more depth with your audience, and it speeds up the amount of time and content people need to consume before they trust you enough to become buyers, right? And then we pair that with email. So email in your tribe funnel, you can do both of these things right at the beginning. I would encourage you to wait to you're like have enough revenue where you could pay an editor and you have like at least 30 minutes to an hour a week to like record content here. Otherwise, just do long form content on your tribe funnel. Does that make sense? And so email, you're simply going to direct people back to your content. That's all you're doing with email anyways, I don't want to like, for most, unless you're really advanced, I have a completely different email strategy, but for most, you're just going to direct your emails back to the content that you're already putting out there that you want people to see, like, hand raise, like lead generation type content, social proof type content, longer form content, like live trainings and workshops. So this is a very simple strategy. And don't let the simplicity fool you. Like, this strategy alone has generated over $1 million in sales, and regularly for our clients gets them between 20 to 50K per month from like an acquisition standpoint. Really simple. And so this is one of the secrets to this. We call them conversion content campaigns. And so we have over 21 of them now at the time of me recording this. I want you to think about a content campaign like a good workout plan. A good workout plan typically, you have like maybe a push day, pull day, leg day, or whatever. There's so many different ways you can do it. Content campaigns are similar. Like, so when you pair very specific content together, like a leg day or a push day or a pull day, right? They're all different, but like together they create like a really solid workout plan and get like results. It's the same thing with content. When you pair certain types of content together, like when you have like lead generation type content where you're like maybe doing a 2-step post or a hand raiser or something that like has a good call to action to it, right? And you get people interested, and you can pair that with something that's going to shift people's beliefs, right? Or you pair that with social proof, and then you lead people to what we call a conversion event, right? We do conversion events about once or twice a month. And, this could be typically it's like a live training or a workshop or something like that. And what we do is we just collect people on our nurture list, and then we DM those people, and then we have meaningful conversations, we have calls, and we create sales. And when you do this effectively, the way we teach our students, like, it's game over. Like, this is what creates predictable sales for us, you see? So it's really, really powerful. And then in between content campaigns, we're just like a mixing between like what I call connection content, where I'm sharing things like with my kids, like my, or whatever, like connection stuff, lifestyle stuff. What we call influence content, where I'm like, sharing stuff like that is going to shift people's perspectives on a particular topic or a particular belief or mistake that they're making. There's going to be authority content, kind of like I'm doing right now. And here's some examples below, where I'm like teaching a little bit more. It's more in-depth content, right? And proof, like showing social proof, just like you could see here with Kurt, like crossing over the $30,000 per month mark. You see what I'm saying? So I just kind of mix that in. And of course, at my stage where I'm at, like I'm doing more long form content such as this, right? And that's kind of our content strategy in between when we run content campaigns, which is usually a couple times a month. And then we have how we book calls. So this is kind of like the whole tribe funnel together. This is the funnel that we move people through. And so you have to have a way to be able to drive traffic. There's different, depending on what platform you're on, there's going to be different methods, but just know that there's an organic way to do it. There's a paid way to do it. And then you could do like collaborations. I teach all of them because I've used all of them, but depending on where you are in your business, there's probably going to be a right way for you to consistently grow your audience, on a regular basis. And then, you want to be able to have the content cycles and promo cycles. We're not going to have time to go into the promo cycles today, like the cash campaigns, but these are very powerful. And then you have your book sales process. So we have a rule set up inside of the In-Demand Coach. We call it the 3-10-30 rule. And so when we optimize content strategy for people, we help them make 3 call offers a day. And if they can't make 3 call offers a day, they go have 10 meaningful conversations with their inbound leads, with the people that are interested. And if they don't have 10 meaningful conversations they can start for whatever reason, their job is to start 30 chats with the people in their content cycles and promo cycles. And so we know that when we optimize these 2 things for people, our clients can always be in a position to offer 2 to 3 calls a day. And so they're always going to have calls on their calendar and sales coming in their business, right? So it makes it easy to make offers, right? And then on the back end, we help them optimize. This is one of the keys. We want to keep clients, right? We want to extend the lifetime value of our clients. And so, signing up clients, getting renewals, getting referrals, and retaining people is absolutely key. Okay. And then the last piece here is going to be team. I told you before at the beginning, like I had a team of like, I think 8 or 9 at one point. And I've actually had a team of 13 at one point in my career. Now all I have is some virtual assistants. I did have an assistant coach for a while in all my businesses, but right now it's high touch one-to-one with me. This is the offer I choose to go with because it's aligned with me and I love it. But like this is the team. Like when I say tiny team, I legitimately mean it. Now everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to have a slightly different business model. So you can have appointment setters, you can have all that. It doesn't matter. But like the reason we can profit so much is because we have such a tiny team and we have really fire systems, really good systems and really good processes to make sure that we literally don't need all that team members because we have such great systems and processes. And so we have virtual assistants to help with like marketing tasks and administrative tasks and like billing and things that you as a CEO don't need to have. And of course, when you have a bit of a bigger program, like if you're more in like the hybrid or group aspect, like having an assistant coach, I found has been super helpful for keeping results high, keeping delivery high, but you still want to make sure you have the right systems in place for this. All right. So some, in case you're like, Jason, that looks great. I'm good for you, but can other people do it too? And I want to show you, yes, other people can. So this is Kurt. He actually recently crossed over 35K per month, moved and bought a brand new home during this time, and temporarily retired his wife from working. Absolutely crazy. I'm so proud of this dude. And he did this, like literally making this kind of money while moving and like being able to retire his wife. It's crazy. And so super pumped for him. And then we have Alex Solomon, who literally went from terrified on camera and working in the manholes of New York City to being able to become an internet celebrity and a full-time online fitness coach in under 12 months. If you look him up, he's collectively has over like 1 million followers now. He has, I don't even know how many clients at this point. Last I checked, it was like 80 or 90. And he's just living life, loving life, impacting a lot of humans right now. We have Olivier, who generated 80 clients inside the in-demand coach model in our system. And he was regularly doing 16K months. And he's not in our program now, but he's still like refers and he's still crushing it from the last I heard from him, which is the real key, long-term transformations with people, right? We have Emily, who was struggling to get over 10K months. We were able to give her our content sequences, our content campaigns to generate 12,500 in one of her first months with us. And then we have Patty, who's, this is just recently, she was struggling again to kind of get over that 10K hump, and we helped her grow to 12K, and she's still growing. She's still with us right now, bumping back up, and she helps women over 50, loving life, feels so aligned, and proud of her. Then we have Leo. He was actually one of our assistant coaches in the In-Demand Coach. He went from 1K to 26K, and then he actually crossed over 35K, and now he's selling $100,000 contracts to corporations, helping them with their well-being, like corporate well-being. Absolutely insane. This dude is like the epitome of like the model that we're producing right now, making stacks of cash and having and loving life, helping a lot of people. We have Edward. I mean, I can go on and on and on with this. You know, we've helped people even like Mike Westerdale and Critical Bench, who have like a massive YouTube. They're like a, 7-8 figure business. We help them with like their call to actions, right? So I can go on and on. I mean, we've had thousands of clients, thousands of content published, collected over $1 million in cash. I could share this for days and days, but what I want to do right now is I want to give you an invitation. So if like you kind of vibe with what I'm sharing with you and you are wanting to scale your business, your online coaching business to 20 to 50K per month, cash collected, or better yet, profit, like the money you actually keep based on the principles that I just shared with you, what I want you to do is click the link around this video or just send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram and say the word in demand if you are interested in our in this process and us helping you get to this 20 to 50K per month. It is a high touch one-to-one offer with me directly. And so if you want information and details on that, on getting mentorship and guidance to getting to this 20 to 50K per month mark, just shoot me a message and we'll have a conversation. We'll see if it's a good fit for you right now. And if it is, we'll take a next step. If it's not, totally cool. I'm happy to refer you in the best possible direction for where you're at. And if you are definitely like not ready for mentorship or coaching or guidance or anything right now, like that's totally cool too. You can go ahead and check out my Facebook page. You can go look on my YouTube. Literally, my YouTube is its own course in itself. We have like content campaigns on there. We have like really in-depth trainings on like some of our processes. So we've made it to be like kind of like a free mini course on our YouTube channel. So feel free to scroll there. You can also listen to the episodes on Apple or Spotify just to get more in depth. And so the last thing I'll say here, number one, I appreciate you sticking around and listening to this. I hope you found this immensely valuable. One thing to understand is like, it's not going to get any easier. And if you feel like you're, our industry is growing, but it's a good thing because there's plenty of people to help. And right now there's a lot of people that are out there suffering, eating too much, drinking too much, living life well below their potential. But you as a coach, like you have this message inside of you, and it contains a light, it contains a passion for helping others. And like, I am convicted that if you step up and start to speak up and learn these principles and strategies and the methodologies that I'm sharing with you today, then you'll be able to make a heck of a lot bigger impact in the world. And that's, selfishly our vision. Our mission is just to help more people. And long term, like I believe human suffering is needed because it teaches us lessons, but it's not getting any easier. But if you learn these skills, if you learn the systems and the methods and the strategies to become in demand, you'll be able to have a very profitable business that's fun and that allows you to make the impact that you want to make. So if you're interested in getting one-to-one mentorship on this process right now, just go ahead and shoot me a message with the word "in demand" and we'll connect. I'll give you details on the actual program. And if not, remember this, your message matters now more than it ever has before. Don't be afraid to speak it. Be seen, be heard, and be impactful.